This productivity system helped me go from working 12 hours a day and making no progress on my business to working less than 4 hours a day and making well over $100,000 in 2023. I built this system just over a year ago at the end of 2022, and it's made up of 3 major parts that I'm going to break down in this video. The first part is the foundation, the second part is the streamlining, and the third part is the principles. A system is only as strong as the foundation that it's built upon, and a productivity system is built upon the foundation of what you believe productivity to be. If you want a strong productivity system, you need a strong understanding of what productivity is. Most people think the more time you can spend working and the more tasks that you can cross off at the end of the day, the more productive you are. Something I subscribed to for the first 2 years of my entrepreneurial journey. But after 2 years of following this way of thinking, I realized that this philosophy is fundamentally flawed. You could spend all day working on 30 tasks, but if those 30 tasks don't move you towards your goals, then you've wasted your time. So in building this system, I wanted to build it upon what productivity actually is, not what most people think it is. Productivity isn't about cramming your day full of work just so you can shout about how busy you are. It's about getting the right things done to a high quality and in an efficient way. In other words, productivity is about moving towards your goals as effectively as possible. And that's the foundation that I built this system upon. It's not about getting more done, it's about getting more the right things done. And so for this system to be effective based on that foundation, you need to know what the right things are. You need to know what moves the needle. The best way I found to figure this out was to reverse engineer my goals down into 1 to 3 daily tasks. These are tasks that you need to complete every single day that over time will add up to your goals. When it comes to being productive, these are your focal point, these are your priority each day, so figuring these out is crucial. A question I ask myself to help with this is simply, what is essential that I do each day to achieve my goal? For example, whenever I was building this system, my goal was to grow my audience to a certain number and build my income to a certain number. So I asked myself, what do I need to do each day to help me do that? I came up with 3 essential tasks: create and post a piece of content daily, promote one of my products daily, build a simple funnel for my products. Theoretically, if I worked on those 3 things every single day, I would achieve my goal. Whatever these tasks are for you and your goal, they're your focal point for each day and are your main priority. Once I built the foundation of the system and understood what my main focus points were, I wanted to streamline the doing of the work so that I could guarantee I would get it done while still doing everything else I needed to do in life, and guarantee that I do the work as effectively as possible. As much as your priority is doing the tasks that move the needle for your goals, life isn't just that simple. Take me for example, I was going to university, I was working 2 jobs and trying to build this online business, so I had to figure out a way to focus on and prioritize what mattered for my goals while still rising to the responsibilities that I had in life. And with the tasks that move you towards your goals being challenging, if you don't prioritize them in an effective way, you'll procrastinate doing them and opt for doing the easier things that you have to do in life. So I decided to use 2 methods to manage my life and everything I was working on. The first is a second brain, or a life management system. I use this as a way to track projects I'm working on, from deadlines to the next steps involved in completing the project to staying on top of long-term plans such as appointments or dinners with friends or vacations that I have planned a few weeks or more away. This way I can stay on track of longer-term goals and plans and not get sidetracked or distracted and end up falling behind on my projects or forgetting about plans I have in the future. I also use it to note down and develop ideas for my content and my business. The second is my pocket notebook or daily management system. I use this notebook to plan my days. I choose to do it on paper rather than on my laptop because I like how I can bring this notebook with me everywhere and I can have it open at all times on the desk beside me, and since it takes some effort for me to create the schedule and plan my day, I'm more likely to stick to that schedule. I start by planning my week on a Sunday, planning calls and appointments or anything else that's set in stone. And then the night before each day, I will write down everything I need to do in that day in order of priority, starting with the tasks that move the needle. I then plan every hour of my day, assigning each task to an hour and again scheduling my highest priority tasks first. This way I'm more likely to do them and I don't have to worry about life throwing something in the way which messes up my schedule and stops me from doing the task. I also get to start my day on a win by doing my most important task first. I then move on to scheduling my other tasks, my habits and my general life tasks. This way of planning my day lets me get all my priority tasks done while still making time for everything else I have to do in life. And because I schedule every task to a certain hour, I'm much more likely to do it than if I didn't have a schedule and winged my day where I'd tell myself I'll do that later. This concept of having a life management and a day-to-day management system is crucial for productivity over both the day-to-day and the long term. Your brain has a limited amount of bandwidth if you're using it trying to schedule your day in your head and remember everything you have to do from your work to the gym to cleaning the house and doing groceries, whilst also in the back of your mind trying to remember the dinner that you've planned in 2 months' time. Don't be surprised if you have brain fog, can't focus and can't get anything done. Having these two systems helps clear up your bandwidth so that you can focus on doing what you need to do right now and not what you need to do later. If you want to see exactly how I use this pocket notebook to plan and schedule my day, check out the video that I will link at the end of this one. When I'm scheduling my day, all my important cognitive work that moves me towards my goals is scheduled in a deep work block. This is a concept coined by Dr. Cal Newport and is a block of work that involves a professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive capabilities to their limits. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. Essentially, it's a block of time where you do your important work that moves the needle in a state of focus. And deep work is by far the most productive way to work because of how it facilitates flow and focus, which are caused by an increase in a cocktail of neurotransmitters such as dopamine, norepinephrine and acetylcholine, which create a hyper-productive state where you will do your best quality work in the most efficient way possible. These blocks of deep work should be anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes and reserved solely for your highest priority tasks, as your ability to enter flow and perform this style of deep work is limited by your body's ability to produce the neurotransmitters that push you into a state of deep focus. You don't want to waste these on tasks that don't move the needle, and it's another reason why I like to schedule my highest priority tasks earliest in the day. When it comes to being productive, focus is your best friend. It will increase the quality of your work and it will increase the efficiency of completing it. But your worst enemy for productivity is distraction. The last thing you want is to sit down at your desk, start working, get into flow for something to then distract you and take you out of focus. And like with everything, prevention is better than cure. So if you want to prevent distraction, you have to learn how to manage distractions. The first way I manage distractions is by optimizing my workspace. My workspace is dedicated to just that, work. This way I'm only sitting here when it's time to work, and I can train myself to know that subconsciously, I'm not here to get distracted or do anything else but work. If I want to watch YouTube or listen to a podcast or do anything else, I will do that elsewhere. Setting up your workspace to benefit you and your focus is crucial. So having no distractions in your workspace is a necessity. All you need is a laptop, a monitor, a notebook, a pen, and water. Everything else is just a reason to get distracted. The second way I manage distractions is through removing them before I work. Before I sit down to work, I turn off my phone and place it on the other side of the room. I shut down all tabs on my laptop that I'm not using for work. I close my door and I get to it. By taking 2 minutes to do this, I remove everything that could distract me during work, maximizing my chances at staying in flow and being productive throughout my entire work block. Remember, focus is your best friend, distractions are your worst enemy. So if you want to be productive, optimize your environment and manage distractions. One of the main aspects of streamlining work is creating leverage by removing yourself from the work as much as possible and removing as many decisions as possible. This involves automating or systemizing the work. Now, I'm not a big fan of complicated automations and systems and always prefer to take the simplest path to an outcome. So I follow two frameworks when it comes to automating and systemizing. If a task isn't important but still needs done, I find a way to automate it, whether that's through software, AI, or outsourcing. If a task is important, I systemize it. Systems can vary depending on the task, but to make a system, you have to start with what's known as an SOP, a standard operating procedure, which involves you writing out every step of the task. Even by having simple automations and simple systems like SOPs, you remove decisions, creating leverage, saving you time, and maintaining a standard quality of work, helping make you more productive. Every quarter, I will list out all my tasks that I do on a weekly and daily basis and run them through this framework. A major part of this system that's helped me be more productive are the principles. The tasks that move you towards your goals are important because they create value and drive your progress. And since they create value, they require effort to complete. They have a lot of friction to starting them and they're challenging to finish. And that's because we as humans are hardwired for the path of least resistance so that we can conserve as much energy as possible. So we often face a lot of resistance when it comes to doing harder things, whether it's working out, doing deep work, or spending less time on your phone. And the only way to get around this in the long term is to understand why the tasks matter and the meaning behind them. This way, when you sit down to do the work and you feel like procrastinating or you don't want to do it, you'll have a reason to overcome this resistance and go down the harder but more beneficial path to do the work that you know you need to do. How I use this system is that on my desk I have a post-it note. It says two things: why does this work matter, and remember the importance of the work. This way, when I'm feeling resistance, I can look at this post-it note and take a minute to think about why I need to do these tasks, how they add up to my goals, and how they will push me toward my dream life and becoming all I could be. And every time I do that, I start working. I know the meaning behind me shouldering the responsibility of completing what I've set out to complete, as the tasks that I need to complete will help me achieve a meaningful goal. And if I didn't do it, I would actively be going against what I want to achieve. I would be working against myself. On top of that, I've also built into my system through planning my day the concept of Parkinson's law, which states that a task will expand to fill the time allocated to it. We've all been there where we've had a project that should have taken weeks to complete, but you managed to get it done the night before. That's all thanks to the urgency that deadlines create, and it's one of the best ways to boost your productivity. When you give yourself 2 hours to do a task, it will take 2 hours. But if you give yourself 1 hour to do the same task, it will only take 1 hour. By planning your day hour by hour, you create a sense of urgency to get the 1, 2, or maybe 3 tasks that you've scheduled into that 1 hour block done in that time frame. But there's only so much that you can get done each day. After all, you are only awake for 16 hours each day. And with it being so easy to say yes to everything, you can end up taking on too much and being cognitively overloaded and not having enough time to meet the commitments that you've committed to in life. The only way around this is to start saying no. And for a lot of us, that's not as easy as it sounds. So I use a simple framework to help me judge what I should say yes to. Does this help me achieve my goals? Does this distract me from my goals? Do I want to do it? How does this affect my other commitments? This way I can figure out if an opportunity is really an opportunity or if it's just another distraction. If you take on too much, your mental bandwidth gets used up and you have less cognitive effort and focus that you can apply to what matters for your goals. So you can't be productive and you can't make progress. The same thing happens if you neglect your energy. If your energy is low or inconsistent, you can't apply your focus or cognitive effort in the way you need to get the results that you want to get. So managing your energy and being high energy is key, and so I've built this into the broader schemes of my system revolving around 3 areas. The first is sleep. I make sure I get 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep each night. The second is nutrition. I avoid junk food and sugar and eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight each day. The third is training. I lift weights 5 days a week but do something daily to make me sweat. Now this system is quite extensive, so I won't cover it in this video, but if you want me to go over the system I use for maximizing my health and energy, let me know in the comments below. In the gym, you wouldn't train hard and then skip recovery and expect to make gains or even train to your best abilities in the next session. Your mind is no different. If you don't give it time to recover from the cognitive load that you've placed on it throughout the day, it won't recover and your productivity will be limited. When I'm scheduling my day, I dedicate time to doing nothing. This doesn't mean that I can sit there and scroll my phone, watch Netflix or play video games. Recovery for your mind involves you disconnecting from stimulation and letting your mind think and breathe. You can walk, you can meditate, you can journal, or you can just sit there. Regardless, your mind is like a muscle. It needs time to think and breathe in silence so that it can recover. If you value your productivity or your creativity, spend more time each day doing nothing and watch your results skyrocket. My friend, as always, thank you for watching. That is it for this video. Make sure you check out this video here on how I use that pocket notebook to schedule my day. Click that subscribe button and I will see you in the next one.